30 years ago, the bad boys Pistons concocted a defensive scheme that loaded up on the game's most dangerous scorer, Michael Jordan. The idea was to not only wear on Jordan physically, but to throw multiple defenders at him while sending doubles and extra help to wall off MJ's attacks. The Toronto Raptors borrowed from that idea this year, adopting the Giannis Rules, if you will. The first principle of the Giannis Rules starts in transition. Most teams would pay closer attention to this wing attacker, but Toronto, as you may have heard, is building a wall to close down Giannis's driving angles, so this defender effectively doubles Antetokounmpo in transition. Also, note how far out VanVleet meets Giannis. This isn't to guard his three-point shot, it's to slow his head of steam. Here's that full wall of the north, taking away clear driving lanes to the right or left, and this leaves Giannis with nowhere to go. If you're wondering what it looks like without the wall, Giannis can change directions into space and use that as a runway to take off. Naturally then, Giannis rule number 2 is to create a half-court wall, which really means help from multiple sides when Giannis winds up and drives. There's the wall formation again, with Danny Green ready for emergency help, and Bledsoe's woeful shooting can't punish this. Toronto wasn't always able to set this up, but even when the Bucks spaced the floor, the Raptors hugged the lane hard. Danny Green can stand in his driving lane because, again, leaving Bledsoe alone isn't dangerous. Ibaka did well during the series to keep Giannis in front of him, and defenses celebrate when Antetokounmpo takes mid-rangers like this. I call these situations free double teams because there's no clear spot to make the defense pay despite doubling the ball. The natural threat is Bledsoe, but he was one of the worst catch-and-shoot players in the league this year at 29%. More on this in a moment. First, there's rule number 3 of the Giannis Rules, which is double the post with a big man who can block passing angles. Ibaka comes over here, and Giannis really struggles in these spots. Here he traveled, and he has a habit of reflexively dribbling out and away from the double, and in this case, traps himself in the corner, and he did not stay at a Holiday Inn last night. This time it's Gasol who doubles, Giannis does the circle out, and whipping it to Middleton is high percentage here, but Giannis takes an extra step and slow pitches it over instead, allowing the defense to recover. And the Raptors' rotations were too good to beat them with idle passes like this. A strong screen here would go a long way too. Gasol runs at him this time on the wing even though he's facing up, and Giannis beats Kawhi, but another benefit of sending the big is that he's long enough to protect the rim. Gasol even strips him a second time with those active hands. Patience can be key in these spots for Antetokounmpo, and he blindly circles away while this pass for easy money is there the entire time. Here, he accepts the double, and that allows Lopez to flash to this very dangerous spot on the court, where he can either go straight up or kick it to a good shot, but he curiously fades away and Gasol recovers to block it. Mark was huge in this series. Good scheming keeps teams guessing, and this time Gasol fakes the double and shades the passing lane. Then Kawhi does well to keep his body in front of Giannis here, but Giannis makes the right pass, and this time Lopez actually goes toward the hoop. Note, Gasol was off Lopez because he's trying to help Leonard on this drive. If there were a rule number 4, it would be multiple looks. The Raptors were content with various defenders against Giannis, keeping the hugged-in box structure behind him and their help principles in place. Siakam loads up on the spin, and Giannis struggles with this backside pass, but on this play he does whip it to a hot spot, and it's a great look. Siakam's actually one of the best guys in the league on an island against Giannis like this, and he's able to stay in front of him here. And even Gasol did work in these spots. He's not concerned about contesting a shot, he's just trying to keep a cushion and guess where Giannis might go. Kawhi received a lot of praise for his work on Antetokounmpo, but Toronto kept the same Giannis rules when Kawhi guarded the Greek Freak. They doubled the post with a big, they built a wall in transition, again, Gasol's help is a big factor, and they kept the same concepts behind Kawhi in the backcourt. There's Gasol hustling to take away the spin and then putting Giannis in a straitjacket. Kawhi did well to stay in front of Antetokounmpo most of the time, and specifically to body him up with that strength that I outlined in his recent profile. It stands out on this play where he absorbs contact and then somehow blocks this shot. That was one of two big Kawhi wins against Giannis in the 4-game comeback. The other was here, where Leonard slowed him down with contact and forced a jump ball with those huge hands. But there were a bunch of wins for Giannis in this matchup too. Those Giannis Rules opened up teammates, and this drive and kick leads to a great look. But when Toronto couldn't set up the wall, Kawhi was actually in trouble. Giannis has driving lanes here and long strides to an easy layup that he just blows. This pick and roll action sucks Kawhi away from the lane, which lets Giannis load up with space, and that's big trouble for Leonard. The fake dribble handoff here freezes Kawhi, and with Gasol spread wide, it's another easy look. Milwaukee also ran handoff action to pull these two pieces out of the lane, and that leaves Kawhi alone on an island, and he gets Euro stepped into another easy miss. Giannis definitely wants some of these back. Antetokounmpo was able to seal Kawhi in the post at times as well, and this led to high percentage offense, although he doesn't always look for this when it's there. He could drive his backside into Kawhi here and claim this space instead of circling wide to the block. There were times where he got the seal and Toronto collapsed from both wings, but Milwaukee wasn't in great position to punish this. Again, Giannis struggles tossing it backside, and our old friend Eric Bledsoe is in the strong corner. Milwaukee actually wants its best shooter here, not its worst. And helping off Bledsoe is where Toronto really strangled the Bucks' offense. Siakam can free double off of him like this, Gasol slides as a backstop, and Giannis can't really make them pay. This diagonal pass is not easy, and Bledsoe isn't a threat as an immediate outlet, so two poor shooters end up ping-ponging it back and forth. Even when Kawhi commits the cardinal sin of biting on a Giannis upfake, there's no extra pass here because Bledsoe can't really shoot. When he's not up top and the double is off a shooter, much better things opened up, like this corner three from the sharpshooting Brogdon. Giannis's passing limitations that I outlined in his profile were a major factor. He has to hit one of these open shooters here. But the Bucks' whole team had passing issues. Here's Brook Lopez on that short roll pass we saw Draymond Green kill in the last video. But instead of swinging it to this man, it's a lumbering turnover. Again, it's Gasol. Many have indicted Giannis' scoring in this series, but Toronto was able to attack him like this largely because of gaps in his passing game. To boot, teammates like Bledsoe can't ping the ball around quickly, and this would be great for Middleton here. They get a cleaner short roll this time, and it doesn't matter because Brook Lopez can't make this lob pass. And Giannis is wide open on this same play we saw the Warriors run last video, but Milwaukee doesn't have a passer like Green. I also think Giannis would be unlocked as a roller with a skilled playmaker next to him. This pocket pass is there at times, but he'll try something less advised and it's a turnover. Even when a teammate would try this pocket pass, it wasn't always executed well. Here it's a little low and fumbled. And I think way more lob action is there to be had like this, unleashing Giannis's length around the rim. A final note on all this, Milwaukee's average offensive rating in their last 4 games was 104, well off their season-long performance around 114. But that isn't totally abnormal. In their worst 4-game stretch with Giannis this year, they average 102 points per 100. And they posted a sub-105 offensive rating in 12% of all their games this season. So, while this is a great example of playoff-specific game planning, limiting an opponent and its best player, Milwaukee wasn't completely stopped in what ended up being a very close series. Both teams scored nearly the same number of points over 6 games, and Milwaukee actually outscored Toronto with Giannis on the court by almost the exact same number Toronto outscored the Bucks when Kawhi was on the floor. And going forward, both growth in Giannis's game and some minor team adjustments would make the Bucks offense a lot more difficult to scheme against. Many of you have asked about rankings. I will get to some top players as the season winds down. A huge thanks, of course, to all of you who have supported me on Patreon lately. Those patron-only posts are now available at backpicks.com, and my box plus minus model and other metrics are also updated through the conference finals. Enjoy Golden State Toronto, and of course, hope you're having a great day.